Hello everyone, Mini Ninjas here. You honestly haven't seen me in front of the camera for a while. Most of the time it's just kind of off-screen stuff, or just me just kind of ambling off to the side there. But in this case, you probably have to notice the dark settings here. I'm actually recording this pretty late at night, all things considered here. And while I don't have any necessary game footage for this one, this is more of an actual pickup video for stuff I've picked up recently. And by recent, I mean give or take within the past week or so. Mostly from the past weekend, being the Anime North convention that was held in the Toronto, Ontario area. Which, just to give a general summary of that, the event itself was actually pretty nice. I usually use it as an excuse to meet some people that don't get often the chance to see in person for a while, just because we all have really busy schedules. And also to occasionally visit a few of the gaming booths in order to pick up a few odds and ends, which I did do this time, although I kept it a bit lighter, just because I generally found there wasn't much in terms of real savings or bargains that could be found this year. Everything felt either kind of okayish priced, but mostly more often than not really overpriced, even for normal in the dealer's room and so on. And even in the general gaming section, which was kind of always off on its own in the Sheraton Hotel, they only had a handful of real game vendors on site, and there were mostly stuff like there was one booth that was selling reproduction carts, and that was basically it. Which is, it's nice if you're looking for this sort of thing, but the repros felt a little overpriced, to be honest. I don't know, I'm not that versed with how exactly the repros work, so, but between 60, 80, something like that, feels a bit much to me. And the other one that was basically a small little gaming booth that was directly across from them, their goods were generally overpriced too, as I am sure as hell not paying $50 for a loosed Battletoads cart. That's obscene. But anyway, enough about that. So generally, some affordable stuff or some decent stuff I did manage to find there will be featured here, as well as some stuff that I've been kind of picking up from a local consignment store, which the name is Buy Mine, Sell Yours. They've basically been advertising over the course of this week, or from the past weekend, that they happen to have kind of a large stock of things that they were trying to kind of get out of their inventory. Basically, a surplus of 360 games, a surplus of Wii games especially. I think they said they had picked up like 100 different Wii games, or 100 Wii games there, and they were trying to pretty much sell them off, slash the prices, so since I do happen to have a 360 just off camera here, might as well pick up a few things for the collection, which is what I did. And with that to do, let us begin. We'll start with the small stuff first, and pretty much work our way up. First thing, technically not gaming related, but it's something I kind of wanted. I found it amusing when I saw it there. Pretty much picked up from Red Moon Glasswork. This is a really nice and actually quite sturdy little Mortal Kombat themed flask that I have in there. They happen to have a ton of designs here, and this was actually the last MK1 that they happen to have on site at the convention there, so I kind of wanted to pick it up there. So that's kind of a nice thing. Moving on to actual gaming stuff, like I said, starting off with the small stuff, we'll start with the handhelds. It's actually really simple this time. I picked up a handful of Game Boy, or import Game Boy games I should really mention. I believe it's from, the dealer was Inferno Cat off the top of my head. I'll have to add that to the description a little bit later. But the first one being Garou Densetsu, basically Fatal Fury Real Bout Special for the Game Boy. Takara basically makes all of the SNK based Game Boy games during this particular era, and they all tend to be pretty good, so I pick them up as I find them. So pretty much another Fatal Fury Game Boy game to go there. Double Dragon for the Game Boy here. I didn't have that version. I do enjoy the Double Dragon series, so why not? And this one I found a little funny. It's basically Neto King of Fighters 95, an import copy. I forgot afterwards I actually already owned the English copy of this. But hey, it was actually, the price was right for that sort of thing, so we went with it. Speaking of price being right, another thing which I picked up for were two N64 games. First one, Mario Kart 64. The price was honestly not great for this one, but it was acceptable, and much better than the average of $50 to $60+ I've been seeing a lot as of late within this particular area, so it was more affordable than that by a little bit, so save a bill, I can agree with that, fine. Same price range, Super Mario 64. I technically own the 3DS. Wait. Yeah, actually, my mistake. The DS. I really don't remember. The bad part, I can't remember what systems I own. Yes, the Nintendo DS remake of it. I actually do own the DS remake, but you still want to have the original lying around. it would be something that I want to play on a proper big screen, even if it is a little less features than the DS remake. So hey, why not? Moving on quickly, we have a handful of Super Famicom games, also from Inferno Cat, I believe. Because I collect too many of them, Super Puyo Puyo 2 for the Super Famicom. I do like my puzzle games, and this series is particularly fun, so we're willing to go with it. Super Bomberman Panic Bomber W. Another of the Super Bomberman series, or the general Bomberman series. I do enjoy my Bomberman games a lot. I'm not particularly familiar with this one, so I will definitely be taking a closer look with it with the gameplay footage videos that I tend to do, highlighting a few games for this. These sorts of things. Oh, gotta keep that in there. And a Garou Densetsu 2, otherwise known as Fatal Fury 2. The cartridge is a little beat up, there's a little bit of markings on the back, but the price was right sort of deal, and there's another Takara for that matter. They love doing the ports of these things, so hey, a few more things from my Super Famicom collection, I'm not going to argue. These next two games are actually for the Sega Mega Drive. I spent a little more than I would have cared to. Can't recall the name of the vendor off the top of my head. This was another set of Anime North purchases. The only reason I picked these up is because I don't see these games too often, and quite frankly, I actually wanted them. First one being, I can't remember the full title, they have to excuse me, but basically, Fist of the North Star, or the Hokuto no Ken Part 2 for the Sega Mega Drive. If some of this stuff looks a little familiar, in terms of the North American releases, this was basically re-released in North America without the license, so they renamed everything, and basically call it The Last Battle. So this is the original untouched port of it. And Tatsujin, also for the Mega Drive, a nice little shoot 'em up that goes by the name of Truxton in the North American territories. I blame Classic Game Room for basically brainwashing me into wanting this game so much. Perfectly honestly, the game itself looked really good, but Mark tends to go on about it quite a few times throughout the course of the video. If you don't already, go to Classic Game Room's YouTube channel to watch a lot of this stuff, because quite frankly, they are some of the better video reviewing stuff you can find on YouTube, and just generally game reviews in general. So that's my blatant product plug for CGR at this point. Alright. In this case, for the next little stack, I actually have, let me see if I can bring it a little closer here, a series of things, which I kind of put in a system order, so this is a mixture of stuff I've picked up from both a little bit of Anime North, not too much for there, and from generally the cheaper pile of Buy Mine Sell Yours stuff that I just happened to pick up since it was nice and it's there. Starting off with the PlayStation 2, Tetris Worlds. I do like my Tetris, and basically try to pick up a couple copies of stuff from the series whenever it pops up. Ninja Gaiden 3 for the PS3. Quite frankly, interesting enough. Let's go with it. I haven't actually played too much of this particular series or this particular take. Namely, it's the NES series I'm most familiar with, so I'm kind of curious here, and while I should have really picked up the first two at some point first, this happened to be there. It was very affordable, so no arguments. Alright, moving on to 360 games, which is basically the rest of my stack here, most of my cheap stuff. Sonic Generations. To my understanding, this, especially with the classic theme stages, is a little closer to the older style Sonic games, which, quite frankly, are the ones I grew up with, so those are definitely interesting to me. Bayonetta. Definitely a game I've heard quite a bit, or a game series I should really say, that I've heard quite a bit about. Definitely interested in some time, but originally before I had the 360, the only version that would have been available to me would be the PS3 version, which I know was not exactly a good port of it, so not something I was directly interested in. And while my brother does have the Wii U system there, and definitely can pick up Bayonetta 2, which comes with, if you get the first release, the disc version of the original Bayonetta that's basically been optimized for it. He has the system, not me, so I haven't had a chance to play that yet. Alright, one second, let me get the case closed for this one first. Blue Dragon. I've heard it's a rather interesting RPG there. Once again, kind of picked it for a cheap price, so why not with it? Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars. I like my Command & Conquer series. Usually would go with the 3D, or not the 3D, the PC version of it, but price is right. Let's go with it. Kengo, Legend of the Nine. I have no idea what this game is about, aside from the fact that it seems to feature sword-based gameplay, basically your general samurai-style game. Which, okay, I'll take a pass for it. It's cheap enough. This one's actually a 2-pack of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the first game of the series, and Forza 2 Motorsport. technically, I wasn't too much interested in Forza there. It's just kind of, it's there as the part of the pack in there. The case itself comes with two separate cases there, or two separate games put in there, and kind of a flimsy manual for both. The funny part was, this version of it with the 2-pack was cheaper than trying to buy Marvel Ultimate Alliance on its own as a kind of a single game. Curious enough, but okay, if that's the case. Realistically, if I'm looking for Ultimate Alliance later, it's the gold version you really want for the 360, because that's the one that has the already packed in DLC stuff, which once the license disappeared, all that stuff disappeared offline. So if you happen to find the gold version of Ultimate Alliance, that's the one you really want. Unfortunately, everyone knows that, so it's priced accordingly. The original Saints Row. I actually have not played anything of this series. I've heard it compared to the Grand Theft Auto series a lot, so but of course a little more tongue-in-cheek even, if you can take that. So this is definitely something I want to at least give a shot at. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I've never tried any of it personally. And the last 4 here, I'll just list off quickly since they're the same description fits them all. Gears of War, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, I need to get the adhesive label for the old stickers off this thing, and Gears of War Judgment. So basically, I picked up the Gears of War series for cheap. 2 of the games were basically a kind of bargain bin price there. Gears of War 3 and Judgment were slightly higher, but since I picked up the stack of everything there, we were able to work out a little more of a deal for these. So I basically went from not having any of them and not experiencing any of these games to now I can play the series from start to finish. So that'll be amusing for a little bit once I actually do get started on these. And that means I need to find a little more time in order to work all that gaming in, because quite frankly, I have so many games, and I have no idea where I'm going to find the time to play all this stuff. So that's going to be fun. A lot of stuff off camera doing. Of course, from here on out. Next convention I'm going to be kind of perusing in will be Con Bravo. That's going to be happening in Hamilton, Ontario. I believe in July. I really wish I wrote the date down when I was doing this video, so I'd be a little more prepared with the plug for that. So I'll be ending as a little annotation at the bottom here, probably as I'm uploading. And probably Fan Expo as well. I still need to pick up the tickets for that, but I definitely do pass by for at least Saturday and Sunday, maybe Friday as well. Don't quote me on that one, though. We'll work that out as we get a little closer there. And generally, that's all I got to say for this little pickup video here, and then slight update in terms of stuff as well. Thank you all for watching. We'll definitely be coming back with some more Retro Ninja Gaming soon, and I know I say that basically every other video, but it's true. Soon. Very soon. Basically, as soon as I get the chance to record and finish editing the current batch that I have up there. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you have any comments on anything, please leave them below. I will get to them as soon as I quickly can. And take care and enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.